high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Yeah, boom to the hey, all you sports fans out there in the dubosphere, or to you, the individual as part of this collective. Welcome to the OMSR Gen 5.0, free but very concise host, Will the alternative ESPN sports thrill. And he's checked out the FINALFOUR up. Alright, along with Dwayne Darnett, ultimate sports fan, the OMSR mascot, we're going through the intro show, Thingy-League-Majing, preview of the clips. Coming up, highlights-wise, Final Four. Focus on this episode. Wisconsin, Kentucky. Wow. So much so that they didn't even bother with Michigan State. Duke, because this was so unexpected and historic and whatnot. Hardly any analysis from our college gaming guys there. At the Final Four with regard to the MSU Duke game. So, by the way, Pi Kappa Alpha style, house cheerleaders, going back to the fraternity references. Just say to some of my fellow Greeks out there of our generation, the internet generation, when it first really started kicking off in 1993. Find out what's going on in your fraternity, or maybe take a day off and go up there. Hey, where is your honor in treating your fellow human beings as peers of your age group? All right, let's call it what it is, illegal and whatnot. Forget about making the fraternity look bad. This is not proper behavior in any society, especially when you're expected to be held and hold yourself to a higher standard. All right, wax off, wax on. All right. Wish there was a rimmer we'd go dunking on. Should try to film this outside. But at 6'3" and in my young to mid 40s, probably shouldn't be trying to do that anymore. And I have a 45-inch vertical leap, sure, but it's a lot of strain on the body. Not advisable. You get to be our age, weightlifting, sure, but, those sorts of maneuvers. All right. So here we go. Clips regarding Kentucky, Wisconsin. Little will in the box down here, low drag, low profile. Try to chime in a little bit here and there between their talking points, little sound bites and snippets. Shame on you, but we will give you the highlights. Gave CBS most of the airtime with regard to this game. That's all they could cover. Kentucky takes the floor at 38-0, and then Frank Kaminsky and the Wisconsin Badgers, who lost to by a point at this stage. Now here's where we were all thinking. I know you were too. Oh, here we go again. Remember Kenny Walker from Kentucky, Skywalker, slam dunk champ? Yeah, it was airtime for Kentucky again, but that was the only that really, much more of those when I'm saying tight plays for Wisconsin after that. You? Right here, being able to command double teams, that's something Kentucky has never seen. They've never had the double or help in the post. Nigel Hayes makes him pay 4-3 right there, and then it's Kaminsky for 3. Remember, he came back just recently, so healthy addition, eh? Wasn't in the Big Ten tournament, right? When Kentucky puts these low guys down low, they got punished. I'm with you 100%. They get punished. They did not miss one chance to take advantage of a small on the you know what they remind me of? The San Antonio Spurs. If you make any mental mistake against the Spurs, they're going to capitalize it. Good call from Trey Lyles, the Indianapolis product, playing for Kentucky, gets that one to go. It's a 30-29 game, and Aaron Harrison hits the floater. They have the foul. A little bit of foreshadowing there. I mean, he had it going on between of the two, which led to what will happen later. I'm assuming y'all saw this, the GIF. You may not have seen some of these talking points analysis ones. That's the whole point we almost try to bring to. You know, I'm just the fourth or fifth commentator, as the case may be, on point. Down here. Minimized. It's all right. I don't think anyone's disappointing in terms of this team. That's a perfect example right there. Booker can't guard commits me down low. Booker can't guard this guy down low. Three-point play every single time. You know, who was loving all this? LeBron is apparently, you know, the Sam Decker this year as opposed to last year after a sojourn over the summer to a particular camp under the name of a particular NBA player, and suddenly he's a different dude. They have to lead in those situations. There's Trey Lyles and one, and now you got a 56-54 Wisconsin lead, and not for long. Aaron Harrison with the layup. Game is 56 apiece. Yeah, beautiful drive there, and Kentucky was on top, and then they get up by 4, and then they took the air out the ball. What? I could not understand why. And this was awful. The shot clock went off there. You should never get a 4-point lead. And 3 times in a row you go down the court, and you throw a shot up at the buzzer. I didn't understand. Well, yeah, I could say, you know, you might not like my approach to the opening comments, but, you know, yeah, a little sense had nothing to do with what was going on. That was definitely intentional. Here's a huge play right here because Nigel Hayes didn't shoot the shot. It did not look like it. I had a replay monitor down where I was calling the game, and it appeared as though that ball was still in his hands when he let it go. Well, listen, they're going to slap you on the other end. You get a free break. That's what I was trying to show on those shots. Right when the clock went off, and then right when it was well after, you know, but within tenths of a second. With a step back three. And, you know, this is a tough cover these guys. Well, this is maybe a shot pretty much over at that point. You're hoping for a miracle, but they were tough to guard in the post. Calipari trust me. Based on like what I was saying earlier. And just a team of a little more experience, maybe not be a better team, but a more experienced team down today. John Calipari's Cats 38-1. The final score 71. Wisconsin moves on to the title game on Monday against Duke. Sport Rams. You know, on behalf of Kentucky, some of my subs and repeat viewers will tell you, it's not easy for me, given the 1998 National Championship game. Those are the dudes I was playing with when I walked on a couple of years before, but then blew up my ankle. The off-guard position was mine. That's where we got kind of shut down in the second half. But the U of U. No, not Miami. University of Utah run years. There's 3 years. Tubby Smith's first year. So, yeah, I kind of have feelings not so pro or positive towards Kentucky, but with the caveat of we all understand, and I try to remind you all out there, especially you 20-somethings, because I was there. I was way too passionate about my sports. They're just sports. Animosity towards others based on because they root for a different university that's against your university. Okay, that's fine and good and dandy and all and good fun, but there are bigger problems, bigger fish to fry in the world at present, right? Still got to get up and go to work on Monday. Tomorrow, being the case this being done on Sunday. But you could see the disappointment there. But John Calipari was such class, and I showed a preview of the next episode on the OMSR for the MSU. Especially Tom Izzo with the happy, you know, foul calling that seems to grip officials when they're, you know, calling a Duke game. But, you know, people have said, a lot of stuff has been said about Calipari, and he's not the most, you know, well-reviewed guy, and I think a lot of this is based on some of you 20-somethings may not know this. You may not have researched, you've not heard it in a sporting context, but back in the day when UMass was a force to be reckoned with. Marcus Camby and all that. #1 in the country. John Calipari. But him, Coach Calhoun at UConn had a very adversarial relationship. That was based on the past, too. Much was made of that last year's national champ. You got to love Calipari now. Winning with grace and humility, losing with class and dignity. It's on display here. That's why I chose these graphics. You can see the disappointment on his face, but he is still very well spoken. I frankly really would not want to hear anything bad said about Coach Calipari, despite the fact I am so not a UK booster. All right, so think about that next time. I'm suggesting you think about that next time you're going to get all riled up and, you know, your fellow human being. It's been a running theme this episode when it comes to just sports. And take a step back. All right. Thanks for watching those silly DUIs while you're out there. Reminding you, sports and alcohol, they are joined at the hip. That fact's unavoidable. All right. Rest of the highlights. Go.
Has accomplished this year 38-0, but just falling just short of that prize that you guys wanted.
It hurts. I mean, but I'm so proud of these kids and what they did. It's the first time, really, in like 2 years we didn't execute down the stretch, that we didn't post the ball and do the stuff we were supposed to do. But what was on these kids, you know, we have a 2 plays down, the shot clock's running out. My man just doesn't grab it. He lets it go. Another one, maybe a shot clock violation. I'll have to watch it on the tape. I don't know if it was or not. But even then, we had our chances and we didn't execute. But Wisconsin was outstanding. I mean, I thought we had them. And you know what? They didn't go away. They played like we played. They just kept coming. So my hat's off to Wisconsin, and Bo, we did a great job.
What did you tell your team behind those closed doors?
I just told them, no one's ever going to do what you just did. What you just did is history, and it's not changing. I wish we could have played better down the stretch, but you know what, guys? I'm proud of you. You know, everyone here throughout this year helped themselves. Every individual player helped themselves. Just, you know, didn't have enough down the stretch. I probably could have called another timeout, done something different. I'll look back and it'll be, what could I have done different? What move can I have made to make it easier? But it was, like I said, it was a great game and disappointing, and it hurts because we were really close to doing something even more historic than 38 in a row.
Unbelievable season still.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Time now for the Coke Zero Tri-Lights. And you look at Sam Decker of Wisconsin in his last couple of games. And this guy has turned some heads big time in this tournament.
That is what you call stupendous performance. You know what? In the second half. He played unbelievably, I think, throughout the whole tournament. Yes. But, you know, this is just a tale of what college basketball is. There's 2 ways, to me, to be great. You know, Kentucky, what I feel, has what I call microwave guys. Guys who are there, they're ready. You just put them in for 30 seconds. You teach them a couple of things. You fine-tune things, and they're ready to play, and they're probably ready to go on to the next level. And then you have Wisconsin. There's no McDonald All-American on that team. But they're 4 pros. I'm going to let you know there's 4 pros because those guys bake. They had to mature, get to a certain level, learn the game, learn their deficiencies, work on them, and you have to give Bo Ryan most of the credit, because the biggest thing that Charles and I see in college basketball that isn't there is player development. And we've seen Wisconsin players develop in the years that they've been there. So 2 ways to do a program. Cal is doing an unbelievable job getting those guys in there and believing and buying in to a system and not treating the program like a rent-a-car. I'm just here. No, they treat it like it's theirs and their own. And then Bo Ryan doing it his way. There's no right way, no wrong way, just observation by me. And the one thing that really sucks about this entire thing is, you know, we live in the 24-hour news cycle and the Twitter universe, and they're going to get the Kentucky kids, sadly, they're going to get criticized. You go 38-1, there are people going to take shots at them for not finishing this thing. Like, ones that don't know basketball. That's my point. That's my point. But listen, and John Calipari, his press conference, that's how he is. He's proud of his kids. He gave the other team credit. That's why he's a friend of mine. And listen, man, to win 38 straight games, to get to the Final Four with 18-year-olds under tremendous amount of pressure, and listen, take your hat off. Instead of blaming people like we always do, you hear people talk about time, did this team lose it or this team win it? Kentucky did not lose it. Right. Wisconsin went and got it. No, they did.
And Chuckster, what when you have a chance to watch a game like this, which was a classic in the
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the national semifinal.
But that's what Kenny just said.
I mean,
that's why I told you I don't do the internet, Ernie. That's what fools go to feel important. If you know,
how did he get from a classic game to fools?
No. But what Kenny said.
I know.
It's easy to sit on those Monday going to quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what, Clark? They don't have the courage to play on Sunday.
Put the guys upstairs.
We really don't. They're forcing us to.
Well, that's why I was trying to cut you off. Greg Gumbel and the guys, go ahead. Give us your thoughts on what we've seen here tonight.
Oh, we have time?
Ernie,
we just go back to
It's a no-brainer to say that this is one of the best college basketball games that any of us have ever seen. Add to that the extras, the fact that there was an unbeaten season on the line and a spot in the championship game on Monday night, and it's one of those over-the-top events. And what I thought about the tail end of this game, last week, Notre Dame had Kentucky on the ropes. The Kentucky defense clamped down on the Fighting Irish, and Notre Dame wasn't able to recover. Kentucky did the same thing to Wisconsin tonight, down the stretch in the second half, but the Badgers were able to recover and come back and win the game.
Well, it's nice to have players like Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky, two guys, as the guys down on the floor mentioned, seasoned veterans, juniors and seniors being able to finish games. To me, Kentucky lost this game in the first half. When you shoot for 60% and you're tied, you knew the seeding was going to go down in the second half. But to me, people said, on Twitter, I was crazy by saying Sam Decker was a four-man Kevin Durant. The step-back three, Smitty, this guy put on a show here in the second half.
He did. And when that step-back three, I grabbed Reggie. Both of us saying, look at the plays he made. We not only talk about the step-back three, this drive and also getting fouled. Then he took a charge. Maybe been a little flop, but he made the right plays down the stretch. And I thought also in the first half and throughout this game, I could not understand why Kentucky was switching. And I thought that hurt them because they took advantage of it.
And another thing, down the stretch, I was surprised that Cal went to the 1-4 spread for Aaron Harrison. When you've got Town, who they could not control down low and has such a weapon, there was no reason with 2 minutes left in this game to go to a 1-4 flat one-on-one situation.
Smitty, I too was surprised that Kentucky switched so much on defense. Hadn't done that a lot this year because individually they're such good defenders. The guys talked about the two areas that Kentucky's dominated over the course of the season, rebounding and the free throw line. Wisconsin had not just an advantage, didn't just play them even, a decided advantage in those areas. And what does that lead? If you're Kentucky, you almost have to be perfect in the things you can do well. They were 9 for 10 from the foul line tonight. The one free throw they missed by Karl Anthony Towns down in that last 30 seconds made it a two-possession game. When Koenig went and hit those two free throws, now it's 4 points instead of 3 points, and Kentucky's ball. Just that little imperfection down the stretch, and that is all it is with Kentucky. They were never a perfect team. They were just an unbeaten team. They comported themselves well. They carried themselves with class. They gave college basketball an incredible gift this season to come to this dome with that record and play this game.
Sure.
It was an honor to be here and an honor to cover this team, and I commend John Calipari for handling it with the typical class that he brings.
Hey, guys, one player I want to point out. We know Decker and also big fella Frank Kaminsky played tremendously. Trayvon Jackson made some huge plays. You look at the box score, he said just 6 points. But he had a drive, then he had a pump fake and drew a foul, Reg. And I said, for him to get a chance to play in this Final Four after missing the shot, also turning the basketball over a couple times in the first half, I thought he made some huge plays. Those 6 points was huge.